You are now tuned in to Peach State TV, where any gym is home. www.peachstatehoops.com. Enjoy the show. Wrap-Up.m4v.com today. My man Kyle Moore. We're here in studio, in the office here. PeachStateHoops.com, Peach State Basketball. Appreciate y'all tuning in. We're going to break down the recruiting classes. Have our national evaluator talk to you a little bit. First, we'll start with the Pac-10. Stanford, Keil, #1 player in our rankings and pretty much across the board consensus nationally. Kyle, talk to us a little bit about her. We saw her in Tennessee this summer, and also talk to us a little bit about California too.
Obviously K making the decision to pick Stanford over UConn and Notre Dame was huge. You give Stanford a player that's going to be athletic enough to play a little bit on the perimeter later in the career as she develops those skills, as well as in the post. You talk about Keil. Keil pulled a class together, including Michaela Lyles and some other guards that they're going to be able to put the team together that's going to compete with Stanford for a spot at the top of that Pac-10 conference.
Well, that's definitely giving Keil a couple of good classes in a row. Some other people, Arizona touched actually here in the Peach State, picked up Candace Worthen, a little small guard who can kind of go get it, should give people problems in the Pac-10. UCLA, USC, both with a couple of kids to go with it. So good all-around class for the conference. Moving on to the Big Ten, got to touch on Jim Foster and the job that he's been able to do at Ohio State since coming over from Vanderbilt in the early part of this decade. Talk to us a little bit about his class, his top kid, and let's kind of go from there.
The kid I look at for the Ohio State class is definitely Adams. She's probably the kid coming in that's going to bring the most lure and the most ability to help them right away. Looking at Illinois, picking up Alexis Burke, that was a huge get. Burke is a kid that can shoot the basketball, but she can also put on the floor and create a little bit. She's going to compete for time right away at that shooting guard spot. You talk about Penn State and what they brought in with Maggie Lucas, Ariel Edwards, and then they also got a post player out of New Jersey that's pretty good as well, about 6'3". So, they're bringing in a solid class after solid class, moving up the ranks in that Big Ten conference.
Sure. Well, when you look at the addition, obviously, this year of, Giselle and then Nikki Green, and to go back and touch Adams there for Ohio State. Ashley Adams out of Arkansas, 6'4" post player. Big-time kid, came to, our two events there at the tail end of the Summer Jam, and Summer Invitational with her Camp Unity team, Shannon Long out of Arkansas. Big-time kid, passed the ball great out of the post, was down to Arkansas, South Carolina, ODU, Old Dominion. In addition to Jim Foster's program, ended up choosing the Buckeyes, and will be up there for a year with Sammy, and then also on the block with Jantel for a year. So that's going to be a tough combination next fall for opponents in the Big Ten. Moving to the Big 12, Gil Guest, of course, making her presence felt there at Texas with a big class. Gary Blair right down the road, keeping Texas A&M strong. Texas Tech and State doing a good job, and then Oklahoma, doing their thing as always. Baylor coming through. Talk to us a little bit about all those classes for us.
I started off with Baylor. Obviously, you got Griner, and then you bring in somebody like Odyssey Sims to throw her the ball and get into opposing point guards with her, obviously her great defensive abilities. Sims was going to be the star of that class, but obviously Mulkey brings in her daughter, who's quite a three-point shooter as well. You got a player like Griner out there with a point guard like Sims. There's going to be some three-point shots to be had. Looking at Kansas, they bring in Kiana Mays, who's another great point guard. She's got a chance to evaluate Mays a couple of times this summer. She's going to be able to run the offense as well as create some offense for herself. You talk about Oklahoma, they continue to add talent. They bring in the Ellenberg kid from Nevada. She's a great point guard, great scorer. Texas brought in a solid class, pretty deep. Big 12 did a great job this summer recruiting. You talk about Texas A&M, like you were talking about earlier. They brought in Gilbert, who's going to help them out in the post. Grant's going to be a glue player. And then Texas Tech bringing in Kelsey Baker. She's a load inside. Got a chance to watch her play in a significant game at Nike Nationals, and where she really took over down low. Her and Ariel Johnson went back and forth. Very good game.
Well, good stuff. And I know, touching on both Baker and Grant, I had a chance to see them in Cincinnati Memorial Day weekend with their DFW team, and Grant just does everything little, whatever you need her to do. Tiffany Moore, that's going to Texas, one of the key pieces to that class that Coach Gale's bringing in there. Big 5'10" wing player out of Frisco, good size, can shoot it on that same DFW team. So a lot of the Big 12 is looking like DFW Elite's travel team, man. Marcus Jackson does a great job with them, and it should be interesting to see after watching Oklahoma against Georgia on Sunday if Ellenberg can come in and help you know, Danielle Robinson and the crew score a little bit more and find Whitney Ham for some open buckets and maybe even knock down some herself. Well, as always, we appreciate it. Next time we'll have wrap-ups from the ACC, SEC, and the Big East. Until then, Kyle Moore, I'm Brandon Clay signing off. Any gym is home.